Some people just don't learn, do they? Still more people are trying to say Rupert Lowe needs to stand down. Isn't it funny how it always seems to come down to people who seem to support the reformians? I mean, I'm not really surprised anymore. But this is what I have to wake up to. I wake up to Paul Thorpe as well, trying to spread this message. I was quite enjoying my beauty sleep, you cunt. Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. So Paul Thorpe's recently just come out and tried to basically say that we need Rupert Lowe to do the right thing and stand down. It's basically the same message that a lot of these NPCs, as it were, are coming out and saying, who are saying like, oh, if you vote for Restore, you'll split the vote. We'll get Labour. We'll get this. We'll get that. It's like, have you not seen how Makersfield? Have you not seen how Great Yarmouth went? What was it Nigel Al-Faraji said? They won't even get 1%. Not even in Great Yarmouth. And then they ended up getting 40% plus of the vote. The real translation to this is basically, please stand down, Rupert Lowe, so the reformians can have a nice clear path to victory. Paul Thorpe claims to be someone who resonates with every person that dedicates themselves to restore Britain. But we all know that's a load of claptrap, don't we? What was it that Paul Thorpe wanted in the past? Oh, I recall. He was asking Paul Thorpe. Yeah, he asked himself something. Sorry. He was asking Rupert Lowe to pick up the phone to Ben Habib after Ben Habib had, metaphorically speaking, stabbed him in the back, took his donation to the grooming gang inquiry back, had tried to play the race card. Like, the thing is, Paul, you don't get it. You really don't. And you're not capable of taking a bloody hint. That's always been your problem. What you need to understand is, there is more than one way to skin a cat, metaphorically speaking. Not that I'm asking anybody to skin a cat, because I love the damn things. But I digress. What he seems to think is that the only way we can stop Andy Burnham from taking that seat, or that step to victory, or what have you, is basically we vote the reformians. Like, you'd almost think Paul Thorpe was a left-winger in disguise at this point, because it seems to me that people like him still don't get it. You don't have to have a bigger party in a position of power to stop the Labour government, to stop the Labour candidate. Like I said, Rupert Lowe managed to get 40% of the vote in Great Yarmouth. I accept that it may be a stretch to ask for Rebecca Shepherd to get like 40% or 50% or what have you. I do accept that. But that does not automatically mean that Restore Britain can't win Makersfield. The amount of leafleting that has been going on, the amount of canvassing that has been going on over in Makersfield has been absolutely astounding. There have been frequent meetings over Makersfield to try and get that vote. And what you have to bear in mind is, I believe Connor Tomlinson put out a little podcast basically saying that potentially Restore are going to take 20% of the reformian vote. I believe this was more along the lines of the general election, but still, it is important to note this. If they were already getting, let's say, 200, 300,000 votes, and then you have the people that voted for the reformians back in 2024, before they stuck a knife in them as well, and let's say like 600,000, for the sakes of argument, had voted for reform. It's obviously much more than that, but I'm just using it as a kind of a springboard, if you will. But 20% of 600,000 would be 180,000 votes. That's not a small number, is it, Paul Thorpe? So it stands to reason why I don't think that Restore Britain are that small minority that you think they are. They are not this inconsolable and insignificant force that you claim them to be. In fact, if anything, I'd say that Rupert Lowe has accomplished far more over the last 3-4 months than what the reformians have done over their entire lifetime. How is it Restore Britain has over 130,000 members acquired in 3 months, whereas the reformians have barely been able to get double that over 2+ years? And Ben Habib's Advance Party, who's now stood aside, only managed to acquire 30, 40,000 or so, 50,000 in about, a year or so? 9 months? Surely you should know by now, Paul Thorpe, that Rupert is a much more significant threat than you think. Hell, there are so many hit pieces and smear pieces coming out from the oligarchy, from the left-leaning newspapers, the mainstream media, even the reformians themselves, who are trying to falsely claim that Rebecca Shepherd stood down for the Makersfield election. There are so many attacks on Rupert Lowe, and there's only one reason people would do that. They're afraid of Rupert Lowe. Pure and simple. They are terrified of Rupert Lowe making a shockwave in Makersfield, because that really would be a springboard for them to just take the whole bloody thing, quite frankly. The moment he starts taking Makersfield, support for Restore's going to explode. Just like that. Because it will tell everyone that even an underdog has a chance. It will tell everyone that Restore Britain is deadly serious about getting this stuff done. So I do not believe for 1 second that Restore Britain need to stand aside. Andy Burnham may be the most left-wing Prime Minister we'll ever have. Perish the thought, he might. I don't think it's likely, personally, but he might even be more hated than Keir the traitor Starmer. And you should know how much I hate Keir the bloody traitor Starmer. The treacherous sectarian shill who's decided to take one religion and go along with it. But do I think that Restore Britain haven't got a hope in hell? Of course not. They've got a real fighting chance, just like any other party does. What it is, Paul Thorpe, and a lot of other reformians and left-wingers are saying is, we don't want Restore Britain to stand for election. That's not democracy. In fact, I'd go as far as saying that's subtle fascism. I would go as far as saying that is people who are basically trying to suppress what the people want. What the people want is a true right-wing party. They don't want centrist politics. They don't want left-wing politics. They don't want the status quo. They don't want to be feeling like they're sticking their heads back in the sand. What we, the people, want is fundamental change in this country. And right now, what you have to look at is, you've seen all the people that have recently been getting butchered by the new arrivals, as it were. The people who come in this country who don't even have the slightest bit of respect for us. Right? You have to see that. And then you think about who's going to deliver that change. Andy Burnham sure shit won't. We know that for sure. Like, I don't need to tell you that. I don't need to tell my subscribers that, my viewers, or your viewers, or anyone else that. Because that should be common knowledge at this point. We know Andy Burnham doesn't give a flying Dutchman about that. The only party that truly cares about deporting millions of people who have invaded this country in their own interests to basically consolidate power, wealth, and a good place to live is Rupert Lowe. Rupert Lowe is the only one who had the balls, whether up here or down there, or in my case both, to actually do an inquiry into the very people who are violating our women and children. But you'd rather than just stand aside, Paul Thorpe. Do you realise how stupid that makes you sound? Do you? This is why I will come out and I will actively debunk crappy arguments like this one. Because you and I both know that it is just plainly not true. All it takes is for people to make a consolidated effort to throw all their weight behind one party, Restore Britain, and all of a sudden, the people who keep scaremongering, who keep using the tactics of the Ramonas when it came down to Brexit, you will instantly prove them wrong. Because that was exactly what the Roman... Stroke number one. Exactly what the Ramonas did for Brexit. Jesus Christ. But that's what they did. The Ramonas did everything they could to try and tell us, oh, if you vote to leave the EU, all farming in Wales would cease. Oh, the economy would collapse. Oh, it would end the world. All the kittens would die. You know, that kind. Obviously, I'm making that last one up. But in all seriousness, it was this fear-mongering. That was what the Ramonas did when it came down to Brexit. And just as they did for Brexit, now people like you are doing for Makersfield, quite frankly. And you may not like me saying that, but here's the thing about me, and the rest of you can say it with me. I'm not going to sugarcoat a motherfucking thing. I am not going to mince my words. I am going to say it exactly how it is, and I'll do my best not to bullshit you. Because the cold bitter truth is, the reason there are all these people who are mostly reformians coming out and saying, oh, I should call them Refugee UK. I did say I would use that, didn't I? Anyway, they come out and say, oh, you'll split the vote if you vote Restore. Oh, we'll get another 5 years of Labour. Oh, we'll get Andy Burnham in Makersfield if you vote for Restore. What it really is they're trying to say in code, please stand down, so that instead of having 50 different obstacles in front of our path, we only have maybe one. That's really all it comes down to. They want a nice easy ride to get that Makersfield seat. But here's the thing. If Restore Britain do get that seat, I can guarantee you the shockwave that will resonate from that seat will be astronomical. It will give the people of Britain a genuine light, a genuine flicker of hope. Whereas if we vote for the Reformians, if we vote for a refugee party, if we vote for Labour, it's going to be more the same, and nothing will change. That is the bottom line, folks. It's ironic because they keep on saying you'll split the vote if you vote for Reform. We're not splitting the vote, we're taking the vote, number one. And number two, I would say that I would rather vote for one party that I know is going to make a difference if I was in Makersfield, rather than I put my vote behind the Uni Party, because that's what the Reform Party are. And Paul Thorpe is still too ignorant to understand that, unfortunately. He still does not realise that Reform are the uni party. Labour is the uni party. The Greens are the Labour Party. The uni party. The Tories are the uni party. The Liberal Democrats are the uni party. But of course, the mainstream media won't tell you this. You know the drill, folks, because say it with me. It doesn't suit the narrative. Why do you think the BBC banned Rupert Lowe from Question Time? Why do you think that when all these polls come out, Restore Britain initially were never part of it? Why else are we seeing all of these refugee party supporters, or the reformians, or whatever you want to call them, come out and say, you need to stand down, Rupert Lowe? They want that easy path. If I've got it wrong, prove it to me. Because right now, nobody's done anything to prove me wrong. No one has done anything to prove that that is not what they are doing. And I don't think you ever will. My beauty bloody sleep because of this nonsense. Right now, our ultimate objective is to get those MPs out of the houses of treachery. I mean Parliament. Or maybe I was right first time. We're not going to do that if we vote for the same ones. We're not going to do that if we continue to throw our voice behind the uni party. Because the voice will get lost to the void. That's all that will happen. You don't bang your head against a brick wall multiple times expecting a different result each time. The only thing you do is you get those little lines imprinted in your head and your head gets sore and bloody. That's all that happens. If you want change, time to vote for it. Time to vote Restore and aim high and vote low. Millions must go. But don't just take my word for it. But in the end, they just want the easy path. But nothing in life is easy. I should know that better than anyone. That is why it is going to take a lot of hard work, determination, tenacity, and dedication to the cause to get the party we need to fix this country. And Paul Thorpe, you need to stop trying to basically get people to give up. You've always been a defeatist. That is something a lot of us people have learned about you. You're very, very defeatist, incapable of seeing the positive side of things, incapable of seeing what Rupert Lowe can do. But you'll never win with a glass half empty. I know this is more than half. I can count. Shut it. But you can't win with a glass half empty. Remember, Rupert Lowe is our last chance to save this country peacefully. Don't be fooled by those trying to say you'll split the vote. Because that is merely the voice of the oligarchy who are terrified